Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some more football talk, okay? It's been a while since I've been around, and I want to just hop right into it. As you can see today, I've got my tier maker, and today we are ranking every single NFL team. And so, without further ado, Kansas City Chiefs starting our S, right? Now that we're done with free agency, for the most part, there's some good names out there still. Don't forget about some of my guys, J.K. Dobbins, Justin Simmons, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and of course, Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to play this year or is he going to sit it out? You tell me. But it's hard not to put the Chiefs in the S tier. They've just been so dominant for such a long time. They really haven't lost many of their pieces. So you got to give them the respect they deserve. Hate them or love them, you got to give them the respect. They've been in the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. Won 2 out of those 3. Obviously, the Eagles saved us last year. They're still an S-tier team. Next up, we will start going in order here with my Arizona Cardinals. And honestly, I don't know what to do with the Arizona Cardinals. Are they a D tier? Probably not. I think they might be a C tier team. This might be a little biased. Will be respectable. Probably finish with an 8-10 record would be my guess. Somewhere along there. Atlanta Falcons, I would probably say is also a C tier team, but I'm going to put them in a B tier just for the simple fact that their division sucks, so they can at least make the playoffs. I don't see us beating the Niners, the Rams, nor the Seahawks this year, okay? I think the Falcons could easily win that division. I don't think they will. My money is on Tampa Bay, and we'll get there in a minute. I'm excited to see Michael Penix in his first full year of action, first full offseason of starter reps. We'll see what happens with Kirk Cousins. I expect a trade at some point throughout the year, or maybe he ends up as Steeler before the year even starts if Aaron Rodgers doesn't decide to play or whatever's going on with that mess. But let's go on to the Baltimore Ravens. We've got 3 bird teams in a row. And this one, can we put them in S tier? Probably not. Probably not. They're just not over that hump, and I don't think they're going to get over that hump again this year. We have to see some elite defensive play, which we didn't really get last year. Their defense was amazing 2 years ago, kind of fell off last season. Obviously, they're still a threat whenever you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the same backfield. It's going to be nuts. They added DeAndre Hopkins, so a veteran pass catcher is nice to have. I can't put them an S-tier team until they win the big games, okay? Until they can prove that in the playoffs they can beat those S tiers. So would I be surprised to see the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl representing the AFC? Absolutely not. I don't think I can put them quite there on the S tier. I'm going to be stingy, all right? S tier is for the elites, the real Super Bowl contenders. Is it the Buffalo Bills year? Could they win the Super Bowl? But I'm actually going to put them down in the A tier. I think the AFC is still between these 3 teams here, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills. Maybe the Texans could take the leap that they need to get into that conversation. But right now, I think it's still between these 3 teams, and I'm going to put the Buffalo Bills as an A-tier team. They lost Amari Cooper, even though he's just sitting in the free agency, which I don't know why Buffalo hasn't gone and re-signed him. Honestly, go get Amari and Keenan Allen. Just get some veterans in there for Josh Allen to throw the ball to, please. Please, we want Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl this year. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers. They are now no longer the worst team in the league, right? Right? I think that's pretty safe to say, considering that the Titans were up there, the Browns were up there, the Panthers weren't a top 2 pick. But they're still not great, right? Bryce Young, I don't think I can put him with the Cardinals. I'm going to put him at the D tier for right now. The Chicago Bears, I think I'm going to put them on the same level as the Arizona Cardinals. Again, they're not making the playoffs when they have the division of the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Detroit Lions. But they're going to be much improved, all right? Caleb Williams is going to be a lot better this year, okay? I fully believe that. I love the thing that Ryan Poles did this season. Added a bunch of offensive linemen. That's going to be big time for Caleb. I like the progress of this team much more than I like the progress of the Arizona Cardinals. I'll just say that. I think they'll be better than the Arizona Cardinals. So if you want, you can do something like this here and switch the Bears in front of the Cardinals. And I'm not mad about that. Cincinnati Bengals, I have no idea what to do with this team. Come on. Joe Burrow had one of the best statistical seasons ever as a quarterback a season ago. And they didn't make the playoffs. Jamar Chase, the Triple Crown champion. And they didn't win. They didn't make the playoffs. Okay? Sam Hubbard retired. Their defense is only getting worse. It wasn't an amazing defense to begin with. People are going to be putting up 50 points on this team 18 out of 18 weeks. Okay, that's probably an exaggeration. But when they play the Ravens, it's going to be another shootout. When they play the Steelers, it'll probably be a shootout, even with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Okay, I'm just kidding. That again, I'm exaggerating there. But come on, man, this is just not a good defense. I can't do anything better than a B tier, and B tier is solely just off the potential of Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow. That is it. Because I can't put Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow on the same level as Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. That's really the only reason they're a B tier team. Cleveland Browns, I think I want to put them as a C tier team. Again, what the heck is going on in their quarterback room? Is it going to be Joe Flacco? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? No, he's injured. I forgot about that. Is it going to be Kenny Pickett? Is it going to be Dylan Gabriel? It's probably not going to be Shedeur Sanders, but that would be cool. I'm cheering for Shedeur, but it's probably going to be Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco, right? It's just what it is in Cleveland. Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Are they still America's team? Hey, drop in the comments right now. Do you love or do you hate the Dallas Cowboys? I just want to hear. All right. Also, let me know how I'm doing on my ranking so far. I need to know. Again, it's been a while since I made a video, but we're back at it. I'm really excited to do this. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, they can't be a B tier. Again, I think the Dallas Cowboys will probably slip into the playoffs as a wild card. As long as we get a full year of a healthy Dak Prescott, okay? Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs. All right, that defense is still good. Now they added weapons of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Combining that duo will be cool. Their offensive line is getting worse just with the retirements of Zach Martin. I got hope for them. B tier. I think they're going to be just about as good as the Atlanta Falcons. So for that reason, they're going to go in the B tier. We might make some adjustments later, but for right now, B tier. Denver Broncos are also going to be a B tier team. This team is going to make the playoffs. I really do believe, just like they did a season ago where they got whooped by the Buffalo Bills, but they made the playoffs, okay, under rookie Bo Nix. That's pretty crazy. Now we got Bo Nix and Sean Payton together for another full season. Bo Nix is only going to continue to improve. All right, that offensive line for the Denver Broncos is amazing. Their defense is stepping up. Okay, this is a very high quality football team. I like them better than I like the Cowboys. I like them better than I like the Bengals, and I like them better than I like the Falcons. So take that as you will. We can move them up here if you want to do something like that. All right, the Detroit Lions. We're getting to the NFC North. We're going to go back-to-back with the Lions and the Packers. And the Lions are an A-tier team. I want to put them as an S-tier team. And if it wasn't for their big loss to the Washington Commanders in the divisional round a season ago, I would have them as an A-tier team. But they choked. They did not play well. Jared Goff had 3 turnovers. I mean, the Commanders just ate their lunch that game. And that sole game, I hate to take one game like that could potentially be a fluke. I hate to give it so much weight, but it's the divisional round. You were the number 1 seed. You were at home against this wild card team that wasn't supposed to make it with a rookie quarterback, a young team, a team that wasn't together most of the year, and they lost. They lost a game that they shouldn't have lost. That's really my biggest issue with the Detroit Lions, is they lost a game they shouldn't have lost. Big retirement announced just a couple days ago with Frank Ragnow, the center for the Detroit Lions. Like, yes, next man up mentality, but also Frank Ragnow is one of the most underrated players in the entire NFL, I believe. He was a very good anchor for that line. For right now, I'm going to keep the Detroit Lions an A-tier team, and the Green Bay Packers, I can't put above the Detroit Lions, so I gotta put them as a B-tier team. They fought with the Philadelphia Eagles in their first round of the playoffs. They fought well. One of the better teams to play, or they had one of the better games played against the Eagles in the postseason. They won all the games they were supposed to last year, and they lost all the games they were supposed to do that. So we'll see if they can make some upsets, make some noise, beat the Vikings, beat the Lions a couple times, at least split with those teams next season, and we'll see. I still just don't love the cohesiveness of this team. Problem is they don't have a wide receiver 1. They drafted Matthew Golden in the first round, and I don't know if that gives them a wide receiver 1. They still always have injury problems with Christian Watson. And after Josh Jacobs was like, hey, we really need a wide receiver 1, and that just ruffled some feathers amongst the team. I don't love where this team is at. Maybe the chemistry is a little bit off, but I'm sure they'll work that out. But Jordan Love just has another season under his belt. All right, these young receivers have another season under their belt. Maybe Jaden Reed does take a big step. Maybe Romeo Doubs. Sorry, wrong NFC North receiver. maybe they do take that step. The Houston Texans, welcome to the A tiers. Welcome to the A tiers. This team just continues to get better and continues to thrive in the postseason. Yes, they lost. All right, I get it. But they lost in the AFC Championship. The year before, they lost in the divisional round to a very, very good Baltimore team. This CJ Stroud just continues to get better. And they did this pretty much without... I mean, he was there on the field as a decoy, but Nico Collins was not 100% healthy in the playoffs this year. Yes, they lost Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs didn't play the last half of the year. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. All right, the team is going to be a little bit better this season. I would like to see them make it to the Super Bowl. I would love to see that, but I think another AFC Championship appearance is not out of the question for this Houston Texans team that just continues to get better as CJ continues to get better, and I expect him to take another step again this year, and I'm excited to see where he can take this Houston team. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts. I am so torn on them. They have all the talent in the world, and they just cannot put it together. Real quick, rest in peace to Jim Irsay, a legend of the game, one of the best front offices. But I think he's going to be a B tier. I think, and again, B tier is like our average, okay, very average teams. And I think that's going to continue to be what the Indianapolis Colts are. I just don't trust Anthony Richardson. I would love to see that running game get back together. I don't trust Michael Pittman, B tier team. They are not better than the Packers or the Broncos. The rest of them, you can argue. The Jacksonville Jaguars, that's a D F tier team. Yes, they added one of the most potential generational talents in Travis Hunter, but did Trevor Lawrence figure it out? Do we know what direction we want to go with Trevor Lawrence? No, okay, I can't do F. Brian Thomas is going to take a step up. Trevor Lawrence can't be as bad as he was last year. We're still big on ETN and Bigsby, okay? And the defense is rough, but I think a D tier is fine here. The Vegas Raiders, D tier. Geno Smith is not your answer. Yeah, is he better than the situation last year? Absolutely. But he is not your answer. And maybe I'm doubting Geno Smith again, and he's going to come back and prove me wrong again with Pete Carroll. But this is a D tier team. It's just I did not see the improvement I needed to see. It is what it is. The Chargers. I like the Chargers. I don't know if I want to put them in an A team. Especially after throwing 3 interceptions, though not all of them were Justin Herbert's fault in the playoffs a season ago. But I don't love the chances here. Houston made him look silly, and so I think I just have to throw the Chargers right above the Broncos. I do like them a little bit more. Another year under John Harbaugh, getting that system together, getting that cohesiveness as a team, building the chemistry. I think it's going to be good. I liked the pickups of Najee Harris. Okay, another year for Ladd McConkey. All right, hopefully that receiving group is going to be a little bit better than it was a season ago, but they're still not an A-tier team for me. They're not a serious contender. But Justin Herbert's a really good quarterback, and I want people to know that. The LA Rams, I think I'm going to drop them down to a C-tier team. I think their defense is very underrated, but Matthew Stafford's only getting older, and most of the team's only getting older. So it is what it is. They lost Cooper Kupp. I mean, the way I do like this team better than the Rams. Don't get me wrong. The way that they make it to a B tier team is if Puka has another great season, and I'm not going to count that out. I think Puka is a great receiver, and he's going to bounce back after a tough year last year just due to injuries. So we're going to continue on. I don't see how this team got better. Tyreek Hill doesn't seem to want to be in Miami anymore. Too much going on. Tua, I just don't trust anymore. And not really his fault, more just the injuries. This team just didn't get better. It got worse. And they weren't that great to begin with. So we're going to go there. A B tier team, a high B tier team is the Minnesota Vikings. Are they going to have the same quarterback play that they had from Sam Darnold, who played almost at an MVP caliber? I don't think rookie JJ McCarthy is going to do that. So for that reason, they're going to be bounced back to a B tier. The Patriots are going to get back to a C tier team. Okay, last year they were probably a D, maybe even an F. But they're going to come back up. Drake May looks pretty good that back half of the season. They added Stephon Diggs, which I love. They were aggressive in free agency. I like the hire of Vrabel. Okay, I think this is just going to be an improved Patriots team. Is it going to be drastic? No. C tier is fine. The New Orleans Saints are going to be horrible. Nah, not that horrible. Just because they have a defense. This is more, instead of an F, this is a respect to Cam Jordan and Tyrann Mathieu, specifically for taking their pay cuts, but also just for being absolute legends of the game on the defensive side of the ball. But the team's going to be awful. The New York Giants, also a D-tier team. I'm excited to see when Jackson Dart gets to play. And I said when. Yeah. He's definitely not going to be a starter day one. It's going to be Russell Wilson. But week 6, week 7, week 8, look for Jackson Dart to take over if Russell Wilson's struggling, which is can probably be counted on, okay? And I think Jackson Dart's going to get that opportunity before our guy, our fan favorite, Jameis Winston, which is just brutal, but it is what it is. The New York Jets, they're not going to get better, okay? Justin Fields, I'm cheering for Justin Fields. The defense is still a good defense, but they weren't that good a season ago. They're not going to be that good when they lose Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields might actually give them a better chance than Aaron Rodgers. Hot take, I know. Probably not. That's probably not even a hot take anymore. That might be ice cold. Justin Fields just gives them the mobility, another versatile factor to their offense. So yeah, give me the Jets a little bit here. And then we got our second S tier team. The two teams that were in the Super Bowl are going to be our two S tier teams. Crazy? Yeah, not really, huh? I just don't see how this team is stopped again. I mean, they tried to stop them by banning the tush push. Didn't happen. All right, that offensive line is still going to dominate. The defensive line is still going to dominate. Yes, they lost some core pieces on their defense, including Josh Sweat to my Arizona Cardinals. But I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. All right, they got guys. Nakobe Dean's going to be back and healthy. All right, as long as they don't have as many injuries as they did a season ago. Cooper DeJean and Kenyon Mitchell are just going to be that much better this year going into year 2. I don't see how you stop the Philadelphia Eagles. I just don't. The Steelers are a C-tier team, potentially a B-tier team, depending on quarterback play. But the defense is still good. I still love the defense, but the offense got significantly worse by now not having a quarterback, and by not losing Najee Harris, and by losing George Pickens, and by, yeah, you get it. This team is not that good. Okay, but their defense is still good. That's why they're a C-tier team. The San Francisco 49ers, I think they're going to bounce back. They're going to be back to an A-tier team. I don't think they're super serious contenders with the Eagles, but I think they are better than the Vikings and the Packers, and so for that reason, they're going to be an A-tier team. I don't think they'd beat the Lions either. The Seattle Seahawks, they're going to be a B-tier team. Again, it depends on Sam Darnold. Was last year a complete fluke? Is he still that good of a quarterback? We'll see. They added Cooper Kupp, so yay. They lost Tyler Lockett, so net 0, probably. I think this team is fine. And that's all I have to say, is fine. We're going to go to a B-tier team, A-tier team, B-tier team. This is very close. I'm going to put them behind. Okay, they're behind the Vikings, but they're ahead of the Packers. These two might be A-tier teams. And maybe I'm being a little harsh. Maybe I'm being a little stingy on my S tier. But because I could see the Bills in the Super Bowl. I could see the Texans in the Super Bowl. I could see the Lions in the Super Bowl. I don't think I can see the Vikings in the Super Bowl quite yet, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I definitely think they're better than most of these teams here. But look, this is our averages. This is our average, okay? So it makes sense that that's the average has the most teams in that tier. So it is what it is. I love Cam Ward and all, but this team still sucks. Washington Commanders are going to be our final team, and they're going to be an A-tier team. Jayden Daniels, hopefully he avoids the sophomore slump. I am a big fan of Jayden Daniels just because he plays the game the right way. He has the ability to run or throw, but he always makes the right decision. He runs that RPO offense of Dan Quinn's to perfection, okay? Or whoever's the coordinator. Is it Cliff Kingsbury? Is he the offensive coordinator, or is he just the quarterbacks? I don't know. Either way, that offense is run to perfection because Jayden Daniels makes a great decision every single time. If you want to watch X's and O's, if you want to talk X's and O's, first off, I'm here all the time. That is one of the most complicated offenses in the entire league. But it was dumbed down for a rookie quarterback. This year, that playbook is going to open up. because Jayden Daniels proved that he can run the basics of the offense very, very well. And the basics included a lot of difficult RPOs. And he did it phenomenally. He made the right decision way more times than he didn't. Of course, he didn't play great every single game. He was a rookie. But I only expect Jayden Daniels to get that much better because he seems like that guy who gets after it. All right, you can just look at his college career, going from Arizona State to winning the Heisman at LSU. Amount of improvement was crazy ridiculous. Crazy impressive. Everything about this kid is impressive, and I love it. And so this team is going to grow with him. They added more explosive offense in Deebo Samuel. Now, does he have the same first step that he did 3 years ago? Absolutely not. But Deebo is just going to help him out. There's no way Deebo makes this team worse. All right, this team got better in both sides of the ball through free agency, through the draft, and they already made the NFC Championship. Okay, they're an A-tier team. Do I expect them to beat Detroit in the playoffs again this year if they meet up? No. But I'm not going to count them out either. That's my ranking of all 32 NFL teams. I love how I added a spot just for the Tennessee Titans. I love Cam Ward, don't get me wrong, but that team is bad. That team is bad. The Giants at least they got themselves a quarterback, and they got themselves a generational player in Abdul Carter, all right? The Titans didn't get that. They got themselves a quarterback, but the rest of the team is still very, very, very rough. But hopefully Calvin Ridley can go off. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let me know what you agree with, what you don't agree with. I'm just glad to be back making videos. So expect some more coming your way.